is Camille. It is Thursday, March 28th, 2024. Station FLPS welcomes you to another great day of learning. Alana Delaney and I are happy to bring you the news. We are from Miss Richmond Smith's 3rd grade class. Let's start the morning by honoring the flag of our great United States. We'll take a moment to recite the Pledge of Allegiance together. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please return to your seats. Now here's Delaney to share more.
Good morning, everyone. Let's see what Mother Nature will send our way today. We can expect sunny skies and a high temperature of 51 degrees. If you are buying a hot lunch today, the cafeteria will be happy to serve you either corn dog or chicken patty. Now please welcome Alana.
Thank you, Delaney. Now for the Bulldog Best Winners.
Good morning, Bulldogs. It's the last day before spring break. I hope that you are excited about some time away, maybe sleeping in, maybe a trip, maybe just extra time to lay around or play sports or do things that you love. We'll miss you, but we're excited to all have a little bit of a break. I have some really exciting things here. Bulldogs on the Run. I thought they just did all the running stuff, but apparently they've been talking about some amazing things. Teamwork, positive self-talk, healthy habits, managing big feelings, and they even gave out some awards this week in Bulldogs on the Run. They gave the Bulldog Leadership Award to Julia Inslee, Seamus Hannon, Alex Patrick, Jillian Namura. This was amazing. And then a Bulldog Spirit Award to Camille Broca, Lucas Doyle, Archer Sikora, and Piper Judson. Congratulations. Maybe I'll have to come check out this Bulldogs on the Run. Some great things. Okay, I also have 2nd grade Bulldog Best winners in Miss Dame's class, Amelia, Miss Chichester's class, George, Mrs. Hoy's class, Rayleigh, Mrs. Seeker's class, Leo, Mrs. Stotts' class, Renium, Mrs. Melodi's class, Samira, Mrs. Tamura's class, Zuri, Mrs. Gamo's class, Elizabeth, Mrs. Wallow's class, Hattie, Mrs. Vormulker's class, Corey, and Mrs. Melodi's class, Asan. And then 3rd grade, because we don't have school tomorrow, 3rd grade Bulldog Best is in Miss Bertonson's class, Maria. In Mrs. Petro's class, Sammy. Mrs. Duray's class, Oakley. Mr. John Henry's class, Aileen. Mrs. Marsco's class, Benji. Mrs. Rhinus' class, Danya. Mrs. Carey's class, Fallon. Mr. Acera's class, Olivia. Mrs. Richmond Smith's class, Mrs. Richmond Smith, Delaney, Mrs. Stovasek's class, Madeline, and Mrs. Crawford's class, Cora, and Bulldog Best, or Bulldog Bucks in Miss Doherty's class. I have Caleb being respectful and responsible. Awesome, Caleb. In Mrs. Tamura's class, I have Alexa. Alexa was copying all 4 of those school rules. In Mrs. Stovasek's class, I have Jackson. Jackson was copying responsible, doing his work. In Mrs. Seeker's class, I have Casey. Casey was copying responsible, took down all the chairs in the morning. And then in Mr. Acera's class, I have Adeline. She was being quiet without being asked. Nice. And then in Miss Chichester's class, I have Zany. Being respectful, helping the teacher. And then in Miss Dame's class, I have JP. JP was copying responsible for following directions. And then in Mrs. Richmond Smith's class, Delaney. What? Okay, I did not plan for that, but wow. Congrats to you, Delaney. 2 name calls on the morning show. Wow. And then in Mrs. Castraba's class, I have Avery. Avery was copying respectful and responsible by helping her teacher. Have a great last day of school. We will see you after the lunar eclipse on April 9th. Bye.
If you heard your name announced, please report to the front lobby immediately after the morning show. That's our news for today. Have a terrific Thursday, everyone.
And